warrant, which they're currently executing at his house. So there's an arrest warrant now for him Ntim Fordjour. Whether he's in the house or not, we don't know. Our correspondent should be there pretty shortly to give us clarity. But what is setting is that the NIB operatives operating on the back of an arrest warrant that they have received and in the process of executing it have now gone to the house of Ntim Fordjour looking to arrest him so they can enforce that warrant that they currently have. That is the developing story around this suspicious flight controversy that erupted over the last week. That's what we know. We are seeing flying on social media, some gathering or calling for these foot soldiers to converge at the house. What do you think this could possibly lead to, looking at the information, the continuous conversation that has been going on across all social media platforms and across many broadcast channels? As far as the MPP is concerned, this is not an Ntim Fordjour issue. It is the MPP issue. In fact, it is a minority in Parliament issue. In fact, 2 days ago, the party had scheduled to hear a disciplinary accusation against Sarah Josafo, the former MP for Dom Kwabena. The party then subsequently pulled the plugs on that disciplinary hearing because they said they wanted to focus on other pertinent matters. The pertinent matter in question was this very issue. And the General Secretary was on air talking about how this is so important to them that they don't want to put everything aside and focus on it. That tells you that the party is putting this full weight behind Ntim Fordjour, and Ntim Fordjour is just a mouthpiece of what the party believes is an issue that the government needs to deal with. It's the reason why you've seen what appears to be a mobilization of MPP supporters to go to his house and support him because they believe he's been victimized. Yesterday we saw the minorities ranking person on the Foreign Affairs Committee, Abu Junapo, write to the diplomatic community, asking them to pay attention to what is happening, inviting them to put pressure on the government to look into it. So that tells you the strategy from the MPP. This is a party issue, and this is not a Ntim Fordjour one. And so I'm not surprised that we've seen that the party supporters are being mobilized to go there. What that means is that this is going to escalate very, very quickly because we've seen that at the very highest level of government, they have taken the matter on. They've shown the videos, they have denied it, etc. And now the NIB is involved. Even the Narcotics Control Commission yesterday was very clear that nothing nefarious happened as far as the flights are concerned. So it's pitching the government against the opposition. And often when that happens, it tends to heighten tensions quite a bit. Don't forget, we're just coming on the back of a keenly contested elections where it's very tense, there was a lot of chaos across the country. And we are just 4 months into the new year. So people are still licking their wounds, if you may. The tensions are still very, very fresh. And then this becomes your biggest controversy since elections. So you can see that is going to definitely influence how this is handled by both the NDC and the MPP and the government, right? So it appears it's a risky thing to touch, considering the impact that possibly have on the reputation or image of Ghana on the global front. I guess this is why the government is taking this absolutely seriously, because it has an international implication. Flights that had, flown into Ghana and possibly brought drugs into the country. That's what the allegation says. Government says that is absolutely not true. Ghana in the past has been known to be a hub or a transit point for illicit drugs. I covered extensively what then was the famous MV Benjamin cocaine trial, a vessel that came into Ghana carrying more than 70 parcels of cocaine, right? At the time, there was a lot more of these cases coming through. And then recently, we've seen the cocaine bust in Takra. They again still using the port, but then we also have flights. That has always been our bane in terms of how these come in. No government wants to be tagged with that because it is a regime killer. If it sticks on you that you're a government that allows this to happen, that becomes a problem. The Kufuor administration dealt with the MV Benjamin case quite ruthlessly at the time, set up a commission of inquiry to look into it. So I'm not surprised this is happening. And you see that MPP is asking for a commission of inquiry, right? They're elevating it there. The government doesn't want that because it's obviously draws their reputation into the mud a bit. And that is why this is going to be this latest escalation,
yes,
which we're currently reporting. And if you're just joining us, the NIB is executing a search warrant for Ntim Fordjour in his house currently. That is a significant escalation. Government wants to get to the bottom of this and prove, if they can, that Ntim Fordjour is indeed lying. I've heard the government spokesperson, Felix Pacheco, yesterday say that his questioning should be publicized. In other words, when he's done, and which would require, we are in charter territory here. So he goes before the NIB. Whatever he tells them is transcribed and shared with all of us to see, because they want to prove that this is what he's saying is wrong. But the opposition party believes definitely there's something there to look at. So this is going to be a very interesting day indeed to see how this pans out. I'm not be surprised that you see party supporters mobilizing at both the NIB, his house. Questions will come about where is he being kept, because the NIB, knowing that there's a possibility of mobilization, will not like to disclose where you're going to keep him. Because if they tell you where you're going to keep him, then the party supporters mass up there. So very interesting day ahead, a few hours to come in terms of trying to get to the bottom of what is happening currently with the execution of the warrant.
Interesting there. But before we go, there's some school of thought, I believe this is possibly some sort of distraction on the government's agenda, possibly from Galamsey, from ORA, and from some key accountability institutions.
I don't know. You're dealing with political parties. Anything is possible. You can rule it out. There's no absolutes in this game. But beyond the speculation, there are a few issues at play here as journalists that we are watching. One, an allegation has been made about flights coming in and out and possibly carrying, drugs. That's one allegation has been made. Government says it's not true. They've shown the videos of that. Ntim Fordjour comes back to say, you are wrong. There are contradictions in the government story. He was then invited by the NIB. He didn't show. The party then backs him fully and say they are supporting this and they're demanding a commission of inquiry. And then today, the NIB, from what we are learning, have secured an arrest warrant for him, and they're in his house now trying to execute that warrant. So as for the conspiracy theories, though, it will abound, and it happens during these significant national controversies. But these are the key developments over the time, with the latest being what we're just reporting and breaking to you. How that is resolved is anybody's guess.
Thank you very much, Ivan Mensah, for these updates. Surely stay tuned to join us. We'll bring you up to date on what is happening on this particular issue, and we'll bring you everything up to time here on the Joy News channel. Now we'll go back to the press where the Minister of Communications and Digitalization and Innovation is giving updates on his first quarter assessment of the sector.